Is it working?
Yes.
We will start with that prayer that we did in the morning. Sarvastaratu durgani,
Sarvastaratu durgani,
Sarvo bhadrani pashyatu,
Sarvo bhadrani pashyatu,
Sarvasad buddhimapnotu,
Sarvasad buddhimapnotu,
Sarvatra nandatu.
Sarva sarvatra nandatu.
Hari Om Tat Sat.
Hari Om Tat Sat.
Now, this is the last part of this retreat on happiness. Now, we talked about the happiness, its definition, etc. In the Webster dictionary, it says, happiness is a state of well-being characterized by relative permanence, by dominantly agreeable emotion ranging in value from mere contentment to deep and intense joy in living, and by a natural desire for its continuation. That's the definition given by the Webster Dictionary. Now, the happiness is a psychological state. But there are other popular definitions are also there. It says happiness is just about anything, anyone, anywhere might think of as making themselves happy. Now, when we have discussed about the happiness, we know all these definitions belongs to the temporary happinesses. Otherwise, these are not that happiness that we are trying to understand. The more deeper sense. It says the happiness is just about anything, anyone, anywhere might think of as making themselves happy. So if you just think that if you go to that Google search, and you find that there are quotations of the big people, famous people about happiness. Just be happy, they say. What does it mean? Some famous person is telling just be happy. It means nothing. Just a word they say, but the deep root thing is happiness. The fast, as in the morning we were discussing, why we are striving to understand happiness, why each and everyone they try to get happiness, because source is the happiness. Correct. Because our very source is the happiness. We cannot accept the happiness, we cannot survive. We need the happiness. So that is the first thing. And here it says, another popular definition, happiness is satisfaction, contentment, fulfillment. Happiness occurs in various ways. These are the things mostly in the psychological study they will be teaching about this. But it has no depth. So that is why when we were discussing in the morning, we tried to understand in depth, very seriously, why happiness, why we need happiness, because the source. And when the source is happiness, the obviously going back to that is the main thing. So it goes on like this. Then afterwards it says, there are certain aspects of happiness, it says. One is stability. Second is definiteness, time emphasis, consciousness, and appropriateness. These are the modern way They teach happiness. Again, I will say, this is also not that in a fluid way, just they're talking about the stability. Then you have to, whatever happiness you have got, you have to stable on that. You should not go on asking for stability. But the changing is a must. I am satisfied as a child with something, but that satisfaction cannot be the happiness or satisfaction when I am young. And the same person when he is aged, elderly, his views are different now. Obviously, he is asking for the different type of happiness. So these are the things. Now it says, happiness is composed of three related components. One, positive effect, the pleasant mood and emotions. This is called positive effect. Right. Please allow me, because I'm happy. So, it goes that the happiness is a composed of three things. What is that? One is positive effect. Absence of negative effect. And satisfaction with life as a whole. I am reading out from the modern psychology. So these are the things they think that happiness means this. But it is not giving us the satisfaction, the happiness. Understanding this is actually nothing. Then it comes to this another we will study about. Now you go to Buddhism. In the Buddhism, the Lord Buddha said, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. Now comes the depth. Why we are unhappy? Because we thought in that way. All that we are is the result of what we have thought. It is founded in our thoughts. It is made up of our thoughts. If one speaks or acts with an evil thought, pain follows one. If one speaks or acts with pure thought, happiness follows one. So to achieve happiness, to get happiness, is very positive way it says, you have to think positively. That is the teachings of the Lord Buddha. And obviously, Lord Buddha, he says that famous, that four Arya Satya. Arya means the noble truth. Satya means truth. Arya Satya. The noble truth. What is the noble truth? This life is full of misery. Jivan dukkhamoy. The life is full of misery. Now we have to understand this very seriously. I don't think that life is misery. I am happy. And then you look around, then you will find the life is full of misery. The Gautama, he was not unhappy. Nothing, no misery was there in his life. But when he came out, he saw the fast, four things, no? The diseased person, old a person, and a dead body. Then a monk. These are the four things he saw. So when he was asking his friend, the chariot, that person who was driving, he was the friend of his father. He was, is it true that everybody is going to be old, becoming old? Yes. Is it that everybody will suffer the diseases? Yes. Everybody is going to die? Yes. So, Gautama came in conclusion. He himself was not that. But he saw around and he learned and he came in the conclusion, life is full of misery. Jivan dukkhamaya. Now, why this misery? Now the question comes, why this misery is from the cravings? It says it has a reason. Why it is suffering? Why it is misery? Because it has reason. What's the reason? Reason is the craving. Reason is the desire. So these are the reasons. The life is full of desire, cravings, obviously dukkhamaya. And it says it can be eliminated. You know that the Buddha way of telling the four things, it can be eliminated. And the way to elimination are eightfolds. These are the views of the Lord Buddha. So one, to be happy, first and foremost, you have to be very, very conscious about your thought. And naturally thought provokes to or leads to action. And the thought and action becomes the result of my suffering or happiness. So these are the cause. So he understood these and he was telling there are four steps. First, the life is full of misery. No one is happy. Second, the cause is there. Third, it can be eliminated. Fourth, the way are eight. What are the eightfold? Then it says right view. Right view. The first is the bright understanding. Right view means first is the understanding. Right intention means the thought. Then right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. The very first is right view or understanding. In the Buddhist way, though they say the Buddhism is different, but actually Buddhism and Hinduism are the same. Only the explanations, the way they are explaining in a different way. That's why Swami Vivekananda said, it's a rebel child of Hinduism. What is Buddhism? Rebel child of Hinduism. Because Buddha was a Hindu and he grew up in the Hindu tradition, so obviously all these thoughts. The same thing is Vedanta also, and it's a right view, right understanding. You have to understand a thing properly. Otherwise it is very difficult. In Sanskrit, in our Veda, it says Dhi Shakti. Dhi is buddhi. Dhi is intellect. But that particular word, the Dhi, means understanding thing properly. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he was discussing about the Vaishnava, the philosophy, and they say, Jive Daya, the compassion to the creatures. Immediately Sri Ramakrishna told, who are you to do compassion? You yourself is at the mercy of God. You cannot do that. At the best you can do some service. Sheva. So many people heard, so many were there. No one could understand it properly. Only Vivekananda, he understood it. He came out and said, oh, what a wonderful teaching. When the time will come, I will propagate it, tell it to the whole world. So why? You have to understand immediately that what are the beings is nothing but the manifestation of the God, manifestation of Brahman. Me and you, there is no difference. This moment here in this world, I am having some better opportunities, having some money, property, wealth. And now I go and tell you, look here, my poor man, I will help you. Who are you to help? So that type of notion should not be there. That's why Sri Ramakrishna said, no, you cannot do that. Others couldn't understand this. Many of the very intelligent people, they are good professors, they have in their credit so many books, cannot understand a very simple philosophical thing. Why the Di Shakti? Here it says a right view. That means the right understanding. So this is the first thing. Second, right intention. That means the right thought. The right intention or the right thought, when you are thinking in a positive way properly, you understand that these are the way we have to. When you see someone is behaving in this way, you can immediately understand, oh, this is, as because the whole situation is like this, you have to do like this. So according to the situation, sometimes people behave. Otherwise, so that you have to right thought. So one novice, young brahmachari, he was asked by a senior monk to do some work. He did. Then the senior Swami told, now you forget about it, I will take care of it. There was someone who was very sick. This brahmachari, the young novice, was asked to take him to the hospital, admitted and all that. Everything was done. Then the senior Swami told, okay, you have done it, forget it, I will take care of the man. I will inquire what is happening, the medication and all these things I will take care. But unfortunately, because of the pressure of work, that Swami forgot to inquire about that person who was admitted in the hospital. But some reason, this young novice, he again went secretly, inquired how is he, and he came back, knowing that he is doing well. In the meantime, the top man of the organization, he was inquiring, you gave me the report that so and so was admitted in the hospital. Now it is almost 4 or 5 days over. You are not telling anything. What happened to him? Then naturally, they all hierarchies, one after another, they came down and came to the Swami and they told, do you know anything? He told, that brahmachari is supposed to know. And the brahmachari was called, the novice was called, and they were all sitting over there, the senior, the full, because the top man of the organization, he was inquiring, it is a shame that someone, he was admitted in the hospital and everybody forgot about it. Why? So naturally, they were all tense, and that person, that Swami, first he asked the question to that novice, whom he said, you forget about it. Now it is my responsibility. He asked, why you have not informed us about the person? Do you know anything about him? The moment the question was asked, you know that situation, usually how the reaction will come. You told me not to do that. But that young novice, he saw and the face of the person and could understand, is a very respectable man. Just he forgot. Not willingly, somehow, because of some work, the pressure, and he was really very busy man. Now at this juncture, at this moment, when all people are sitting, if I disclose that he is the person, so it will be a great shame for him. But as a novice, as a brahmachari, it doesn't matter at all. No one will mind. They may advise you and that's all. So he was keeping quiet. Then naturally all they were advising him, you should not behave like this, you should be more attentive, you should. Then all these things happen. So this is called right thought, right intention. The moment you see this man is telling something, this moment, something has happened to him. All these things that he is telling, it's not for me. Though he is telling, but it is not actually meant for me. Something else happened to him. Right intention, right thought, immediately you can solve a lot of problems. But if you react again, then there will be clashes, there will be unnecessary problem. So these are the things. First is right view, the right understanding. Then comes the right intention, the right thought, right speech. One should not use the word that may hurt others. So they say the goddess Kali, she is biting the tongue. That means you should have control over your tongue. There's some big people, they cannot control their tongue. They say something, not only they are in problem, they are creating problem in the whole society. They should hold the tongue, they should know the when to speak and what to speak. But many times the people can't. So that is the reason, the right speech, and then a right action. You should work in such a way, in the manner that people should be happy, the right action. The one person was very much inspired by Swami Vivekananda's words, go and help others, the living temples, etc., etc. So he was a junior school teacher. And he wanted to inspire his students, though they were only the very young boys. But out of enthusiasm he said, you must do something good every week. The Saturday, Sundays, the schools are closed. So these 2 days at least one day you should do something good. And the Monday when you come, I will ask you to report something good. He never expected what good they will do. He inspired them. These young people, they couldn't understand him. So they went back home, and in the Monday, all of them, they were coming. And after that they came and reached to the school and the class. The teacher asked, have you done anything good to others? Everybody raised their hand. Oh yes, good. The whole class, they raised their hands. Sir, I have done, sir, I have done. What you have done? The first boy, what you have done? There was an old person, he was sitting at the corner of the road. I hold him and helped him to cross the road. Oh good. Then what, next man, what you have done? There was an old man sitting at the corner of the road. So I helped him to cross the road. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, everybody. So where you got so many old people? Then they said, no, the one man was sitting over there, we all went and forced him to cross the road. He never wanted to cross, but we forced him to cross. Then what happened to that elderly person? The uncles, the nearby, they all came, they took him to hospital. Now the old man, poor man, he was simply sitting, he never wanted to cross. But these children enthusiastically, this is a story, they thought that we should help the man to cross, they forced him. All of them pushing and then one is holding, so like that they did. Now the teacher understood the folly, then understood that I said those words in a wrong place, to the wrong people. These kids are not, now at this moment, able to understand what does it mean to helping others. But if I could say, then when you are eating something, see that if there is a poor boy of nearby, share that with. So it could be all right. So you should be the right speech and right action. One should be very, very careful. Sometimes we do some good action, but the result is very bad. Particularly in our country, the planning I have seen, they made planning that the poor people should get a good condo so they can live properly. But those people, they were daily laborers. Some of them, they used to pull the rickshaws in that locality. Now, you have given a good place for him to live, But where he is going to earn his money? The fisherman regularly used to go to the sea to catch the fish. Now we have taken him inside the city. Oh, my good man, be here. See how good around. He needs the sea only because the day and night he has to. Now, without thinking, the good work you are doing, you're harming him more than doing good. So this, the teaching, the speech and action, then right livelihood. Just for the survival, one should not do anything the wrong, because that action will come on him. The livelihood also one must choose properly. What type of job, what type of work I am going to do? So this is very, very important. And then comes right effort. When I am striving, when I am trying, that effort also should be proper. And then comes right mindfulness, the last. Right mindfulness and right concentration. These are the two things. Now you must have heard the word vipassana. This is a Buddhist way of meditation. Many people, they go for there are courses, 7-day vipassana, 15-day vipassana, like that they give more importance on the mind, so the vipassana. And first 7 days they will ask you to sit erect right from the morning till evening and to concentrate on how you are inhaling and exhaling. Concentrate on that. How long it took to inhale, how long it took to exhale, how you are feeling on the upper lip, and all this, the concentration on that. Like this, the vipassana, if you go and you find some people, they go for the vipassana. This vipassana means these two, right? Mindfulness. You have to look at your mind and then you have to think, why this type of thoughts are coming in my mind? Sometimes we see the dreams in the night. Why we see these dreams? Something is happening. That means somewhere, sometime I thought on those things. So in the subconscious mind it was there. Now it is coming up. So I see those things regularly. Either I am scared or I am happy, whatever. So mindfulness means you have to be very, very careful about your own mind. So Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, you better go sometimes, at least for a day or two, in a totally secluded place, without anything external help. Concentrate on your thoughts and then observe what is going to happen. One gentleman, he rang me long back in India. I was there in Arunachal Pradesh, very quiet. Unless you have the training in mind, it is very difficult to stay over there. Unless you have the work for the whole day, like the teachers, whole day they are busy. And we made the routine in such a way for the teachers and the students, right from morning 5 o'clock till night 10 o'clock, they are all busy. And sometimes they used to say, Maharaj, Swamiji, so much of the engagement, and because of the engagement you are happy. And there is nothing else, all around is jungle. So from morning 5 to till night 10, all are busy. When they go to bed, they are tired, they sleep, next morning they start, they forget that how the days are passing. And suppose there is no work, what they will do? And that is why one gentleman rang to me and told, Swamiji, I read in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna that sometimes a person should go in a secluded place. So I think I should come to you and for a whole month I should meditate. Why try for a whole month? Try for 2-3 days. Because after listening that his voice, I could understand he is not that quiet type of person. Actually, better try nearby. Why you should come so far away? And then it will be a problem for me. And there is nothing actually to make him engage. Nothing is there. But still he came. And after a lot of argument, It was decided for the 7 days. I said, okay, you come. First day he came, got down from the car, and we had to send our vehicle to receive him. It's a far away place. It takes nearly 4 hours to reach, and then again bring him. And afterwards he came, kept his bag and said, now what shall I do? I told you have come to quietly sit, isn't it? Sit quietly, that's all. They take a chair, sit quietly and do nothing. No, give me some work. You told me that you want to spend some time quietly, and now where from I will get a job for you, work for you? There's no engagement. So the problem is next third day he told, can you drop me down over there in the city? I have some engagement there. And nobody's there. But he wants to go to the city and stay in the hotel. So naturally, we always think that we can do, but we should be very, very practical, because we do not know what is our mind. When we are with all the friends and engagement, we think, oh, I understand my mind, it is all right. When you are all alone, then only you can understand. You are all alone, there is no newspaper, there is no TV, there is no phone, just alone. Then you will understand. So that is the main reason, mindfulness and the concentration. And it says that if by leaving a small pleasure, one sees a great pleasure, let a wise person leave the small pleasure and look to the great. That is the teachings of the Lord Buddha. And this is a modern psychology, they are now applying this mindfulness. And afterwards it says, the contemplation of the body, contemplation of feelings, contemplation of states of mind, and contemplation of the phenomena. These are the 4 teachings to control your emotion. They are so-called to control your mind, so that you will become happy. The first is contemplation of the body. We don't know how our body is actually. We never look at it. We bathe and all, but we don't know properly. Suppose you sit quietly, close your eyes and go part by part. Oh, this is my hand. You're feeling that you're not without touching, you're feeling that you are touching your hand. And this way slowly you are contemplating. In the Hindu puja also, you will find they're contemplating on the body. They will go on doing like this. The sign, they will sign like this. The crossing the hand from the head to toe, they'll be crossing, contemplating on the body, constantly thinking, each and every part of my body becoming holy, holy, holy. Like that, the contemplation of the body. And then slowly forget that you have a body. Try to think that it's nothing but a stone image. And if you can do that, then you can control your mind. They were asking me to teach them meditation. This is the contemplation of the body. When you can truly contemplate on the body, sitting erect, and then forgetting your body consciousness, and thinking that you are nothing but a stone image. Bhagavan Sri Krishna, when he used to meditate, used to practice, the birds used to come and sit on his head. For they never could understand that it's a living person. And he never was disturbed. A bird is coming and sitting on his head. He was not disturbed. So there is no feeling for the body. So that is called contemplation of the body, contemplation of the feeling. So that sometimes the mosquitoes are biting, or the ants are coming. There's no feeling at all. Raman Maharshi, he was not having the feeling. Not that the body was numb, it was normal. But they could control the feeling. That was the great thing. Then the contemplation of state of mind. Third is contemplation of the state of mind. Mind is changing. Sometimes it's becoming higher, sometimes lower, sometimes this, sometimes that. So one of our direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, he used to say, before practicing meditation, observe your mind. Give it a total freedom. You sit and then you see that your mind is going out. As the young people, they go, just observe them from the distance. Your mind is going out, observe from distance. You see what the mind is doing, and afterwards the whole phenomena, all around things, whatever is happening. And according to Buddha, there are 4 stages of deeper concentration called dhyana. The first stage of concentration is one in which mental hindrances and impure intentions disappear. Second, activities of the minds come to an end. Third, bliss itself begins to disappear. Bliss, the joy, is disappear. And for final stage, all sensations, including the bliss, disappear. There's a wonderful poem wrote by Swami Vivekananda. There, in that poem, he is giving the description of the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And in the last word, he said, ultimately everything is going away, then there remained only I consciousness. And nahi shurja, nahi jyoti. There is nothing else. Only the final stage, I. That also goes. And nothing remains. Because that time you are full. So that's it. That is the thing. In the Buddhism they say nothing remains. Shunya. Shunya means nothing, negative, or void. But the Vedanta says Brahman remains. So instead of to the void, you go to the fullness. The Buddhism at the last stage, they say nothing remains. Hinduism also said that nothing remains, nothing of these worldly things, but it remains as the fullness. Like a drop of water, when it falls and mixes with the ocean, that water is not remaining, but the water is remaining in the fullness as the ocean. So these are the two differences between the Hinduism and Buddhism. Then afterwards, we find the Christians, the Judeo-Christians and the Stoic, the people, how they are thinking about the happiness. The Stoic means the Greeks. The Greek way of happiness, now and here. The Stoic happiness is now and here. Jabat jibet sukham jibet. Rinam kritva gritam pibet. That was also in our the Charvaka philosophy. They also said like that. As long as you survive, enjoy the life. If necessary, take lot of loan, but live lavishly. Then you die. They won't get the money back. So that doesn't bother to you. You live nicely. Then some people they are doing like that. Even today. Javat jibet. As long as you live, sukham jibet. Live happily. Rinam kritva. If necessary, borrow the money from others. Gitam pribet. And enjoy the life. Even after borrowing the money. Of course, nowadays everybody is having the debit card and credit card. So, the credit card means borrowing, so like that it goes. And if you don't have the credit card, there is no identity. If this is a country, then you must have to have a credit card. Now, this is the one problem. So, this is Rinam Kritva. And the Stoic people also, Greeks also say here and now. But the Judeo-Christianity, Christians, there is some problem. Because they say Christian viewpoint Happiness is a comprehensive concept that addresses the whole person, body, soul and spirit, and all human needs, both material and immaterial. A total concept. It is not. Happiness means only mental, the manasik. So we are thinking, well, I'm very happy. When I listen to good music, we feel happy. But they say no, not only in the mind, is a total conception. But the problem is, the basic problem is the conception of the scene. Because in the Christianity we find the conception of scene is there, so that is the main problem. It says, from quoting the Lord Jesus, now is your time of grief. I will see you again and you will rejoice, and no one will take away your joy. This is the one quotation it has given from John. So this now is your time of grief. Why? Because the human life is full of misery. Indirectly, Jesus also telling. Why misery? So Jesus directly didn't say it is sinful. But afterwards, to explain they said, it's a sin, full of sin. Why? Because you didn't listen to the God. Who didn't listen? The first. The two, they didn't listen. So that is the main problem. Adam and Eve. They didn't listen to the command of God. So they committed sin. And that is being carried out by all human society. You can never get happiness and joy in this life. It's the different type of philosophy. So what you should do in this life, you should grieve and you should pray. You should totally dedicate your life for the service of God. And then only when you die, when you go back, then Jesus said, I will be there and He will get you back the happiness, and that will be, you'll never go away. No one will take away your joy. So it says, the Christian idea of happiness developed through the centuries. And Saint Augustine, he said, the happiness means is a city of God. The city of God is the happiness, and true happiness unattainable in our present life. This is a Christian because the conception of the scene. And Jesus said, blessed are those who are pure in heart, but they shall see God. Blessed are the meek, like this, all these things are there. Those are the preparation for the final happiness in the Christianity. And they afterwards, they said, God is happiness itself. The happiness you cannot just get over here, because God is the final happiness. So when you die, when you go to the other world, and then if you have done all through your life, the sinful life, if you have done the God's commands, perform the God's command, then only you can get the happiness, otherwise not. This is the Christian viewpoint. Then comes the Islamic viewpoint. This is very interesting, the Islamic viewpoint. They say happiness is a feeling that resides in the heart. It is characterized by peace of mind, tranquility, sense of well-being. It comes as a result of proper behavior, both inward and outward, and by strong faith in Allah. True enrichment does not come through possessing a lot of wealth, but true enrichment is the enrichment of the soul. Now, according to Quran, Happiness is the exclusive quality of the soul. A body attains all the material success it longs for, money, power, fame, but may not always belong to a happy person. So this, the subtle difference, the happiness, like the Christians, the happiness cannot be in this world because this life is sinful life. You have to constantly go on praying to God. You have to suffer, and then in the next life you will get the happiness. The Islam also say happiness is the exclusive quality of the soul, not of the body. So obviously here in this life you may get many other things, money, power, fame, but not the happiness. The material prosperity, material aspect is merely a means, but not the end in itself. The main focus is in attaining happiness is on non-material concern. Happiness depends totally on the degree of growth and development attained by the soul. Whoever does good, whether male or female, and is a believer, we will most certainly make him live a happy life, said the Quran. Now he says the whoever, male or female, doing the good. Now the ethics are coming and the morality is coming to become the happiness. See, there is a simple word that we always use, happiness. Now it is so difficult to achieve. Here it says there are two different types of happinesses. Here also in the Quran. Well, one is worldly happiness, another eternal happiness. In the Friday evening and today morning, we were discussing again and again. There are two types of happiness. One is temporary, another is permanent. In Quran also said worldly happiness and eternal happiness. Islam lays down a number of rules and regulations to guarantee man's happiness during his worldly life. Islam emphasizes that the life of this world is nothing more than a means of attaining the hereafter. See that it goes always not here but hereafter. And then eternal happiness is true and is a long-lasting happiness, depends on the righteousness of the individual in this worldly life. Allah says, for those who do good in this world, there is good, and the abode of the hereafter will be better. The excellent indeed will be the abode of the pious. Now it goes on. What are the barriers? Why we people cannot get the happiness? It says disbelieve in Allah. They goes in because the Islam they believe in Allah and they say except Allah there is nothing else. So la ilaha illallah. So there is nothing else. So disbelieve in Allah. So this is the problem. Allah is the creator. If you disbelieve, so obviously you can never become happy. Not in this life, in the next life also. And sin and crime, if you are committing sin and crime, envy and jealousy, ill will, anger, injustice, fear of worldly power, and pessimism, these are all the obstacles to become happy. And lastly it says, suspicion, the Prophet Muhammad says, shun suspicion because suspicion is the biggest lie. Arrogance, an arrogant person leads a life of misery. And lastly it says, very peculiarly, alcohol and drug is these addictions that can never become happy. So this religion, we have to understand where it grew up. So 1,500 years before, and the people all around, how they used to live. So accordingly, they gave. Now comes to the Hinduism once again. And in the Vedanta we find, it says, Advaita Vedanta says, happiness, ananda, is that state of sublime delight when the jiva, the individual soul, becomes free from all bondages, all desire, all doubts, and all actions. Having been established in Brahman, it becomes Jivan Mukta, most blissful state. So it is growing, actually is crossing the word happiness. That's why Swami Vivekananda, he quoted today morning, he's saying happiness cannot be the goal of human life. It's freedom. Freedom from all bondages. The moment you are free from all bondages, you are obviously happy. So then we are talking about the permanent happiness, eternal happiness, and it says like this. And Dvaita, Ramanujacharya, Advaita is Shankaracharya. He said you have to go beyond this, and if you don't have the desire, any desire, you are totally free. And when you are free, you are a happy man, you are a happy person. And that is why the conception of sannyasa. Islam is not having the conception of sannyasa. The Hinduism having the conception of sannyasa, Buddhism having the conception of sannyasa, and also Christianity, that is in the Catholic, Roman Catholic, they have that conception of the sannyasa. What is that sannyasa? Giving up everything. What is the giving up? Of course we come from our home, we leave our hearth and home, that is the... But that is not the main thing. Many people are living away from their families. What is there? Many people are bachelor, living away from the family. They don't have anyone. And they are not having even any property. Are they also nations? No. Sannyasa means giving up of the ego, the I-ness. All is that I, that should not be. And here, next comes the Dvaita. The Ramanujacharya says, only by the grace of God happiness can be achieved. Why you are striving? Only go and try to pacify the God, make God happy. And if He is happy, then you can be happy. Only by the grace of God. But Shankara didn't say that. Now in the last part, we can go to this. That is, in the Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, it says, Sukham tidanim trividham srinu me bharatarshava. The Sukham, the happiness, are three types. I will tell it to you. To the Arjuna, Krishna said. And what is that? Abhyasat ramati yatra dukkhantancha nigacchati. If you practice that, abhyasat, if you practice that, all your miseries will go away. That is the 18th chapter, 36th sloka, it says. Then it begins. There are three types of sukha. Even the sukha, there are three types. One, it's very, very analytical. And it says, one is sattika sukha. Satta rajatama. You know, all the time they talk about these three gunas, satta, raja and tama. What is the sattika sukha? It says, yattad agre vishamiva puriname amritopamam tat sukham sattikam proktam atma buddhi prasadajam. In the beginning, when you are trying to